up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm Lowell Henderson. This is Simply Fishing. Today I'm going to basically recap a little local kayak tournament that I fished yesterday. I'm going to let you guys know the baits I used, what went right, what went wrong, what worked and what didn't, and what I think I can do better correcting by next time. Stick around. It's going to be a beautiful day out here. Hang out with me for a little while. I'll be right back when I get set up. Guys, appreciate everybody hanging out with me. One of the baits that I've had success on the past few days is a 5-inch stick bait on a 1/4 ounce shaky head, and if the wind were to get up a lot stronger I would go to a little heavier head, but this is actually a shaky head I just picked up down at Walmart. It's one of the War Eagle shaky heads. I love their spinner baits. I'm not sponsored by them. That's what I always use unless somebody builds me some custom stuff. So I thought I'd try their shaky heads out, and they seem to work pretty good. But just a regular 5-inch stick bait on a shaky head. This is one made by Cream. I know most of your bait companies have them. Now I am on the Cream staff, so there's my plug for the day for the Cream products. Now what I've been doing with this, I've not been making like really long casts. Short cast, I've got my boat positioned in about, well right now I'm in like 14.5 feet. I just came across 22, 23 feet. So this is going to drop off this point back down. Most of the fish have been off of the points. And so I'm just making little small casts, maybe 20, 25 feet out from the boat. I'm nosed into the wind. I'm just letting it get to the bottom. And when I'm raising it back to me, I'm letting that thing stay in contact with the bottom. Bumping it along and keeping contact with the bottom. Every time it bumps and hits, I believe you get that little silt action going, that little head, it'll bump off the rocks, and bump it every now and then, raise it up. That swinging motion, if you raise it slow, it'll glide it right to you 3 or 4 times, and I'm putting it back out there. I'm not making tremendous long cast. I'm fan casting specific areas, and I tend to when I'm fishing a bait like this and I get started making long cast, I tend to lose fish because it seems like that's when they'll hit it, when it's way out, and I don't get a good hook set and just lose fish. Closer you are with this fluorocarbon line, I get a lot better hook set, and just seems to work out. And now you can, sometimes you'll notice when you're fishing one of these, you'll start to pull that thing up and go to reeling, and bam, you'll get a hit. If I get 1 or 2 hits like that, I change and I go to fishing it like a swimming bait. I'll put it out there, and still not making tremendously long cast. I'm keeping that hook set in mind. I'm letting it get to the bottom. Once I see my line stop, then I'm pulling it a little faster. I'm making it swim. Let it drop. Pull it a little faster. Let it drop. Now I came across some deep right there. It's still sinking, so I'm gonna let that go down. That's what you want. You want that depth change. And I'm gonna pull it. That's pendulum motion, bringing it toward the boat. Always keep that in mind. It's swimming toward you when you're raising your rod tip. And then it's back in. The wind puts me in a little different position each time, so I'm really fan casting an area pretty good. Once it's down, I let it sit just for a second. Always watch your line. If it twitches, they got it on the way down. You don't want them swimming halfway out in the lake. But once it's down, I'm pulling, and don't seem to be anything going on this spot. There wasn't a lot going on with this bait this weekend for me, but some of my fish did come off of this, and I didn't lose any off of this bait. I'm gonna go a little deeper. Yeah, it's taking a little longer to get to the bottom. So I have gone off the edge, either off the edge or over a tree, and it's going straight down. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to ease it up real slow, take my slack, and let it go back to the bottom. And back down. Now this setup where I'm at today is not exactly like yesterday where I was fishing this particular bait. I was fishing, like I'm in similar situations, but yesterday I was bumping it along rock bluffs. And when it would come off that bluff, if they hadn't already got it, sometimes the bass would be positioned outside that bluff, and when it would come off and fall, that's when I would see my line twitch and notice at the hook. This is a little different situation. It doesn't fall off quite that deep. I just came across it and thought it would be a great place to start. Hoping I would get a bite real quick, just didn't happen. But that was one of my techniques I used this weekend. I'll go ahead and tell you about my tournament. I did not do well. The bass I got bites early. From dark till about the first hour. I have heard this from a couple of different guys, and after that, man, it got tough on me. Now, I watched the leaderboard, our kayak tournaments. We could watch the leaderboard all day. Many of you guys that watch my videos, you were probably fishing in the tournament, and you know we watch them all day. Those guys were still catching fish. So where I was fishing on the bottom, I have a feeling that guys were catching suspended fish, which is something that is extremely tough on me because I'm just now learning to fish for suspended fish. And there's some guys that fish in our club and the surrounding clubs that are absolute hammers. My hat's off to you guys because you can do something I can't yet. But it's a goal this winter. That's what I'm going to work on all winter. I'm going to work on catching suspended bass. Hang around. I'm gonna move spots. I'm gonna drag out another bait that I used this weekend that I actually got a bass on, and when I get set up on it, I'll come back just a minute. You guys hang out. Alright guys, I made a couple of casts on my last spot before I pulled up and left. No bites. I covered about a quarter mile on my next bait that I used in my tournament yesterday. Never got a bite. New lake, same bait, different result. 3/8 War Eagle spinnerbait. And basically I was just covering water to get by my next deep bank. I used the spinnerbait and the buzz bait and the crankbait sometimes as a trolling motor. Helped me go and produce me a fine little bass right up in the weeds. So there's a lot of difference between what bodies of water we're on. Lake Catoma, those fish, I made hundreds of casts with a spinnerbait. I didn't ever get one to even flash at it. Been here 30 minutes, got one on that, up shallow, probably 5 feet deep in this standing grass. A lot of difference, but that was one of my baits yesterday. I've still got all my baits from the tournament tied on. I used the spinnerbait in the same way yesterday. When I was moving locations and the wind would help me go, I would put the spinnerbait on because it would drift me down a long open stretch of bank. The spinnerbait, I could throw it in and out cover, adjust my boat and move down the bank and try to catch a fish at the same time. 0 yesterday on the spinnerbait. 1 for the duck. So pretty pleased with that. Pretty nice little old bass, hit like a train. And we're gonna make a few more casts and see if we can pull another one out and just see if I got lucky or not. You guys hang around. I'll go over the other couple of baits I used shortly. Be right back. There's a good one. Man, these fish are strong. Get up here. Awesome. Oh my goodness. Guys, still covering water. Spinnerbait. It's one of my favorite baits that has ever been made. It let me down in my tournament. I covered water. I did all the right things. I put it in the right places. Sometimes it just don't matter. The lake fishes, each lake fishes different. This lake is definitely different. For you guys that don't think the ducks got any fish, there's one. I needed that yesterday so bad. I knew when I pulled up at the boat ramp yesterday morning for my tournament. When I first got there, it was me and one crappie fisherman. I knew I made a mistake. Wrong lake, wrong time of year. Man, I needed that. That fish is heavy. I'm not gonna guess. I left my hog trough in the truck. That's 20 plus all day. That's a heavy fish. Let's put her back. My glasses are wet. My cameras are probably wet. I'm very happy. It makes for a long weekend when you fish and you just don't fish well. I had bites yesterday. I did not fish clean, and for those of you that don't do tournament fishing, fishing clean means when you get a bite, you set the hook, you catch the fish. I had several bites in the morning time, or well, mid-morning I'd say, that that I did not land. I don't know if I got rattled. The first 3 bites of the morning I handled pretty well. One I handled too well. I made a mistake on my timekeeping for the tournament first thing in the morning and caught a fish before it was legal to do so, and it got thrown out. I caught that fish, no problem. The next 2, no problem. I lost 2 or 3 after that due to, I don't know if I was rattled or not ready when the fish bit. But this is one of my 2 or 4 baits I used yesterday. Used it for covering water, and it has effectively covered some water here this afternoon. I didn't even get to the lake till after 12 today, so it's, let's see what time it is. It's 1:30, and I have caught 2 pretty decent fish, 1 really good fish and 1 couple pounds in an hour and a half, which would have easily smoked what I did all day yesterday. So let that be a lesson. It's a lesson to me for sure. Lakes do fish differently. Same time of the year, 20 minutes apart, they still fish differently. This is a newer lake. Catoma is an older lake. The bottom is different. While I will go ahead and show one of the rigs I used yesterday to land. It landed my biggest fish, and this, a lot of guys will think odd. Oh, why is he doing that in the fall? The Carolina rig with a lizard. And one of my online acquaintances, pro fisherman Randy Blockett, I follow him, I watch his videos. You either love him or hate him, and I think he is very interesting, and he has a lot of valuable knowledge. He suggested Carolina rig lizard, although he suggested it in black. The colors on Catoma had been doing was pumpkin chartreuse, watermelon chartreuse, so I went with a watermelon chartreuse lizard. And I picked up a couple of fish on points when I got tired of covering water with my spinnerbait. I picked up the Carolina rig and covered water. Every point I got to that I was going to bypass, I put that Carolina rig out there. And my biggest fish of the day, a 17.5 spot, came off the Carolina rig. And I had another really good one on that I think hung me around a stump or something on the bottom. I kept him on there for 30-40 seconds, and then I felt him tie up and could not get him back after that. And then I had one under 12 inches on the Carolina rig, so I had three bites on it. The other bait, while I got you attention, throwing a 1/4 ounce. I threw a 1/4 ounce and a 3/8 ounce both jig. Practice that little jewel right there, that jig and little crawl was tremendous. I have caught several bass over 5 pounds in the last 3-4 weeks on a jig just like that. Putting it beside logs, end of logs, indentions in the grass, any kind of target. I even worked a road bed, an old road bed, or a underwater hump, working that hump, pulling it up where the hump falls off. I was working it up. They wouldn't seem to bite it falling off of it. As I was working it up one side of it is when I was getting bit for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Well, a week before tournament, cold front comes through and scatters out all my fish. Everything was basically null and void, and I basically was practicing all over again in the tournament. So I think I finished maybe second to last. Nothing to hang my head about. I fished against some of the best guys that I've ever seen, and I don't expect to go out there and win. I hope to win, but I know who I'm fishing against, and you guys know it. You guys are great. and I'm learning. Got some things to work on myself. Like I said before, suspended fish. I'm a shallow water fisherman. The spinnerbait rules for me. Floating worms, shallow running crankbaits, that's my thing. I've got to learn the other fish, the ones that aren't on the bank, because they're not always there. Anyway, glad you got to see that fish. So proud that I actually I think I got the back camera. Yep, back camera's running, so I got him. I think I got the hook set on that one. Man, that was a runner right there. Anyway, I'm gonna ease on down this bank. I'm not gonna waste all my camera just running down the bank, but if I get another one, I'll be sure to show it to you. But I'm gonna work that shaky head and that stick bait. There's a couple of points coming up I want to hit with it. So I got one, two, three. I got about 4 more spots I want to hit before I head back to the truck. Not gonna be out here all day, but man, it's been a blast so far. Hang in there. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I have picked up another largemouth on my little spinner bug. Check him out. Covering water, using the wind the best I can to help me go down one bank. Trying to come up the other side's not quite as easy. Bass in the grass. If the bass were in the grass on Lake Catoma yesterday, I didn't figure out how to catch them. Running the blade in and out, bumping cover, running it through the grass, swimming it, busting the surface with it, no matter what I did. I never got a single bite with a spinnerbait. It just was not happening. Totally different lake, totally different setup. So much cover on both lakes to fish, it can be a little overwhelming, but once you figure it out, you can keep continuing to catch. I've had a couple of blow-ups off camera. I think one grabbed the blades and made a tremendous splash. I know that had to be a pretty decent fish. It really got my attention with the noise that it made. Sounded like you dropped a brick in the water. And I'm like, man, I needed that one. But when you're just out here for fun, it's not nearly as stressful to lose one as when you got a little money on it or pride with your buddies involved. But man, it makes me wonder what the difference was from one lake to another, why the bite could be so different. Water temp's basically the same. Just couldn't get them, you know. Today's conditions are different as well though. We've got a front moving in. It is getting warmer as the day goes on. It was actually still a little cool when I got here. It is no longer cool. It's like not quite 3 o'clock yet, and it's in the well up in the 70s, pushing toward 80 probably. So the conditions are changing. We've got overcast, we've got wind, and that's good for a spinnerbait bite. But when you got bass stacked in grass and you fish a spinnerbait as long as I did on the day before, they just, to me, I was in an area they were not gonna hit it. Now they might have hit a frog or something, or they may not have been in the grass. My bass on that lake previous in practice have been deeper, probably in the, if I remember right, in the 10-foot range. And I'm pretty sure that's where my two came from yesterday. Over here, they're in the grass in about 5 feet. I don't know how everybody else fished it. Oh, there's another one while we're talking. Oh, I love this lake. Move Mr. Paddle. He's swimming. Oh my God. I needed that yesterday, boys, so bad. Oh my God. Got him. Oh, that hurts my feelings. Now I know why the parking lot at Lake Catoma was empty. And I was fishing with one other guy over there. Oh, give me my blade. And he annihilated that. I'm talking about got it in there. There we go. Hooked my net. These are solid fish. I've already, I don't even know what to say. Daylight and dark from my fishing yesterday. Once you figure it out, you figured it out and everything's good. Oh, he's gonna jump back in the boat with me. But hey, if you don't learn as you go along, you'll never progress. And that's what I intend to do every trip. I want to learn something. What do I do the next time I'm faced with that situation? That's how you have to look at it. You got to have Gerald Swindle's positive mental attitude. I did pretty good with that all day during the tournament. Even having lost some decent fish, knowing they were decent fish and could really help, I really didn't let it get me down. The bites, the amount of bites just weren't there. So what I need to practice on, what can I do better in the future? I need to learn when to change gears, when to abandon what I'm doing, and I'm bad about sticking to something. If I believe in it, I'm gonna stick. But a true pro will know, hey, I need to change gears. This isn't working. An hour or 2 hours in and it hasn't paid off. That's when I need to say, look, man, I got to go do something else and regroup. I'm not good at that yet. Not knowing when to change is my downfall. Still working on certain techniques that'll make me a better fisherman. Suspended fish, offshore fishing, jerkbait fishing is not my strength. It's something I really want to do, but I don't have the confidence to run out there in the tournament and do that. So that's something I got to work on. That's a wintertime project. Jerkbait fishing, offshore fishing, drop shot fishing, deep water. I like fishing drop shot shallow. I use it a little different manner than the guys fishing deep water. I use it shallow a lot because it raises my bait off the bottom and holds it there. I've not got the confidence yet to stick with it all day out in deep water on humps and stuff, but that'll come with practice. I don't know how many more of these I'm going to catch. I'm going to keep fishing, and I don't know what to say. I wish I had all these fish yesterday. My day would have been a lot better. But hey, you've got to learn. What I did do right is yesterday is I went into the tournament with a plan. Started out great in the morning, fell apart about mid-morning. What I did wrong is I didn't know when to change, and it cost me bites the rest of the day, I believe. So we're always learning. I'm gonna head down this bank. Before I say goodbye and good video and have a great day and all that, I'm gonna go see if I can't catch another one. Stick around, I'll show you what I got, or I'll let you know what I didn't get. Well, guys, I've worked my my way up into this little pocket I'm in out of the wind so I could talk for just a minute. It has been a blast. I got a little camera issue, so I believe I'm gonna cut my day short and go home and check out and see what's up with my back camera. It quit on me, fully charged, and not sure exactly what's going on, but I need to go check that out. And just want to say thanks so much for everybody tuning in every week. You guys are great. If you got anything you'd like to say or anything, please hit me up in the comments. It helps my channel. The more comments, the better. Lets me know somebody's watching. The channel is growing, which is good. And man, it's just been a blast. It's been daylight and dark since yesterday's fishing. The bites have just been, man, they've been like little trains on the end of my rod. It's been awesome, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Maybe some of you that don't fish tournaments like I do, maybe you pick up some hints and tips that I leave out. I know you guys, a lot of you that watch me, we fish together. You already know, most of you guys know more than I do anyway, and I'm just proud to be in the same club and the same group as some of you guys. Thanks so much for all the support. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna head back across the lake and get all this stuff downloaded on the computer and see what I ended up with. Hopefully everything looks good, sounds good, and I'll see you guys on Thursday night like usual. You guys that don't watch the premiere when the videos come out, if you'd like to, hit the notification bell so you'll know when the video's premiering and when it's coming out. Man, I tangled up my bait. I really thought I was gonna get a bite right there. But yeah, hit the like button on, man. That helps in the algorithm, grows the channel. YouTube will give it out to more people. The more likes I get, means the world. Of course, if you don't like it, don't hit it. I'm not trying to force anybody. But hey, this is so much fun getting to bring this every week and put out videos and doing what I love out on the water. You guys hit the water, catch some fish, do it safely, and I will see you next week. And if you see me out on the water, come say hi. Don't bother me a bit. I'm Lowell Henderson. This is Simply Fishing, and we'll see you next week.